We got something in the mail. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. This is an exciting one. So today, our Aputure 600D has arrived. Now, do not get us confused with the 600D Pro. This is Aputure's brand new 600D non-Pro, I think is what they're calling it. So we're super excited for this. We have used the 600D Pro, obviously haven't used a normal 600D. So I'm gonna unbox it today. Gonna go through first impressions, first looks on everything, how it stacks up to the 600D Pro. Gonna talk a little bit about some of the benefits of this one compared to the Pro version, and then some of the cons as well. Bear with me, because I'm not a lighting expert by any means in terms of the technical side and everything else. I'm not an Aputure salesperson, so I might be missing some stuff, but super excited for this nonetheless. So let's get into it. Trusty knife here. As always, comes in a nice, hefty Aputure box with any Aputure light. And there she is, 600D. All right. And there she is. What I love about the 600D, definitely the case for the 600D Pro, is it has these little roller wheels right here. So these are super nice. Basically turns into a luggage roller case, kind of like a Pelican case or something. There's I'll show it in a second, but there's a little handle up here that pulls out. Super nice because this is a pretty heavy case still, heavy light. So it's nice to have that rolling function, not have to carry it around like most of the other 300D, 120D, all the Amaran stuff. So first impressions with the case, looks basically identical to the 600D Pro. I'm not sure if it's smaller. I know the actual light is smaller, so I'm not sure if the case is any smaller. Still pretty sizable. Let me go grab a 300D real quick. Okay, so this is how it stacks up to the 300D Mark II. So it looks like it's about 30% taller. Actually, the 300D is a little bit longer, but then it's about half the width. I don't know how well you can see that, but good amount bigger than the 300D. Before I open it, just gonna do a little spin around here. So this is the little zippered handle that I'm talking about here. So it basically just pulls up like a luggage handle. It just goes up like that. Goes up all the way. There's a camera right there, so I can't go up too much higher, but goes up all the way and is a super useful rolling case when it's used like that. The thing I love about Aputure cases is there's tons of handle options and different ways to carry it and hold it and everything. So it's nice for when it's in a car, in a van or something like that. You can pull it out no matter what the position is of how you set it in there. All right, so let's open it up. Holy shit. Another nice thing that I like about Aputure cases, they have a little kind of like business card slot here. You just slide a business card in here that has your logo on it. That's a nice little indicator that it's yours, especially if you're on set with other people that have Aputures. Just a nice thing to have. All right, so here we have the internals of the case. We have everything here and nicely laid out. So starting over here, we have the standard reflector with a little foam protector on it. I guess I was gonna say, I'm not sure if this is the same as a 300D reflector, but it does say Lightstorm 600 series. So maybe this is a specific reflector for the 600 series. And then over here, we have the ballast. Okay, so first impressions on the ballast. This is a lot more lightweight than the 600D Pro. Just picking it up for the first time ever, still feels really good quality, but this is easily held with one hand, where the 600D Pro ballast is definitely a lot heavier. So that's super nice. One of the biggest benefits of the 600D compared to the Pro is the weight. I'm not positive, I think it's maybe 5 pounds lighter in total compared to the Pro. So that's a huge benefit. Definitely still really nice quality though. Completely metal, still has the paracord little hanging thing right here. I'm sold on this thing. We'll come over here. So we have the cords So I think these are the same cords as the 600D Pro. Still has these kind of higher quality, heavy duty little, whatever those things are called, 5-pin, I don't know what they're, like I said, I'm not a lighting expert. And then of course we have our little stand clamp for ballasts. I think this is one of the best things Aputure has done, honestly. Just getting the ballast off the floor, mounted on the same stand as the light. Genius. All right, now for the fun part, we're getting into the actual light here. So, I'm gonna pull this out. Here she is. Still has some nice weight to it. I'm not sure how much lighter the head is compared to the 600D Pro. This definitely has some good weight to it. Yeah, I can't go side by side to compare right now, but I'm sure it's a little bit lighter possibly than the Pro. Super high quality. Everything is basically metal for the most part. Looks like very few plastic pieces on the whole thing. And then of course we have the iconic red COB cover right there that goes with the 600D Pro as well. Cool. All right, well, I'm gonna take all these components out and talk through stuff a little bit more. All right, so as you can see, we have everything laid out on the table now that came in the case. So we have 6 separate items in total, 2 cords, ballast holder, ballast, reflector, and light. So what I'm gonna do now is build it up and turn it on, see how powerful it is, if it lives up to the 600D Pro. And as I'm doing that, I'll talk a little bit about some of the benefits to this light compared to the Pro and some of the things you would potentially be losing by going for this light compared to the Pro. We'll start with the head here. Throw this on. So going through some of the similarities with this light compared to the Pro. As far as I know, it's the same output. So 600 watts, I think it's like a 1.2K HMI equivalent, something like that. You're getting the same settings, same effect settings and everything else that you would get with any other newer Aputure light. And you're getting everything the same as you would be with the 600D Pro. You have like all the flashing and strobes and lightning and fireworks and everything else. You wouldn't be getting some of the color settings that you would be getting with a 600C, which is another one of the new lights that Aputure announced at NAB. They've just been on fire lately. But you have all the same settings. You still have Sidus Link. Basically all of those sort of integrated settings are here to stay. Some of the things that you are losing with the non-Pro versus the Pro. One of them, I know you don't have as much control on the intensity settings with your increments. So on the 600D Pro, you have 0.1% increment controls. So you can go from 6.2% to 6.5%. Whereas on the 600D non-Pro, you have 1% increment changes. So instead of going from 6.5 to 6.6, you can go from 6% to 7%. So not the end of the world for some people, but also this is a very bright light. So it is nice to have kind of that more precise control to be able to really dial in your light. What the f? Why is this not clicking in? It's gonna click in right. There we go. Okay. Another thing that you are losing with the non-Pro versus the Pro is the quality of the screen, quality of the display right here. I'm not sure what the tech specs are, but I wanna say it's like the 600D Pro has like an OLED screen or something like that, and this is maybe like an LCD screen or something else. Don't quote me on this. But I do know for a fact that you're getting a higher quality screen on the 600D Pro, which to a lot of people, not a big deal at all. But to some people, having that higher resolution, more accurate screen can maybe be important for certain things. It's in. All right, so that's in. I'm gonna throw the reflector on now. I do really like the Bowens mount lock on this compared to like a 300D or 120D or something like that. Those ones you kind of have a top sort of slide for the lock. This is just like a nice, very defined button basically. So it's a lot easier to lock and unlock mount items onto there. There we go. Okay, so one more thing that you're losing with the non-pro versus the pro is the level of DMX control that you have to be able to work with a larger grid and ecosystem of lights that are outside of Aputure. If you just have Aputure lights, not a big deal because you just have Sidus Link, but if you're working with a bunch of different lights and maybe on a larger set, then it can maybe be more of an issue. So we got the light all plugged in. I am going to strike it for the first time. I'm gonna get it away from our camera here so we don't burn our sensor, but lock it in and it's a maiden voyage. There we go. Just like that, we're on, nice and bright. We're at 50% right now. So looking at the screen here, very clear that it is not the quality that the 600D Pro has on their screen. That screen is, as far as I know, like a full color OLED or something where you just have all kinds of different controls. This looks much more like a 300D or a 120D screen. Not the end of the world, not a big deal for us. You know, it's a light, so I really don't care that much about the screen and what the screen looks like, as long as we have our menu and control and everything else. And I will also say it is nice to have that incremental control that you have on the 600D Pro at 0.1%. It feels a little bit smoother than just doing this. And you can also get up to a higher intensity quicker on the Pro versus this, you are just basically cycling through percent by percent. So just kind of an initial thought that I'm having. So there's at 100%, nice and bright. That's just pointed off at a white wall next to me. So that is giving some nice light, I'm sure, helping the key out. Right now we just have a 300D2 on the key. So yeah, real quick, just to kind of finish it up, I want to talk about some of the reasons why this light could make more sense for you than a 600D Pro. The biggest reason is price. So the 600D Pro is going for about $1,900 right now, which is very expensive for a single light. Arguably not as expensive as Aputure's competitors and what they're able to do, but still a lot of money for a single light. The 600D non-pro is going for about $1,400. So you're saving $500 by losing a couple potentially very small features for a still very high output light. So I think that's well worth it. I think for maybe a rental house or a higher end like gaffer, it could probably still make sense to have the pros just because of those added settings and the more refined adjustments and everything else. But I think for most people, for a production company or like a DP or someone else that needs a powerful light, a lot of output, this is a great light. I mean, it's still super well built, it's Aputure quality, and you're getting all of the benefits of working in an Aputure ecosystem like Sidus Link and being able to use this light with all the other Aputure lights and control everything on a phone or an iPad or whatever. So that's the biggest thing. A couple other ones, the weight is a big thing. Like I mentioned in the beginning, I think it's about 5 pounds lighter than the Pro version, and anything in production is heavy, and the more weight you can save is great, especially if you're traveling or flying or anything like that. Being able to save 5 pounds in a case, I think is potentially a really big deal. With that, you're still getting the same output that you're getting on the 600D Pro. And then also size. This is a smaller ballast. I'm not positive that the case is smaller, but just looking at it, I'm pretty sure that it is smaller. So it's a little bit smaller profile. I'm not sure about the light. I'm assuming the head is probably the same size for the most part. But regardless, you're still maybe saving a little bit of space with the ballast and with the case as well. So again, for travel and everything else, the more space you can save and the more weight you can save, the better off you are. So I think that kind of covers it. First impressions, super excited for this light. I think what Aputure is doing is great. And I think kind of lowering the cost of entry for a truly professional light is an awesome thing. And this 600D I think is soon gonna become our go-to light for interview setups and commercial setups and everything else. So with that, thank you guys for watching. I hope you found this a little helpful and informative. We put the pre-order in right away when Aputure made the announcement. So we got it a few weeks later. It's now kind of the beginning of May. So if you put your pre-order in, just hold out hope. It's probably coming soon. So yeah, hope you guys like this video. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.
Where's the piece?
I'm not doing peace anymore.
Oh,
dude, I am
gosh.
burning up. Oh my God. I am so hot right now.
Whew. Not doing the piece anymore?
No more peace. Peace. Until next time, peace. Until next time, peace. Until next time, peace. Peace. Peace.